All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Grow Your Business with Ingram Micro and Chrome Enterprise webinar. My name is Zach, and I will be your host for today. To start things out, I'd like you to be aware that this session is being recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing after today's event. If you have any questions during the session, please enter them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll happily answer them after the presentation. Lastly, on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see a feedback survey. You can either complete this during the presentation or once the session closes. We look forward to hearing your feedback from the survey. Now I'll introduce today's speakers. First, we have Sandeep Gupta, Lead of Strategic Partnerships at Google Cloud, Nicholas Quinn, Solutions Sales Executive at Ingram Micro, and Jason McManus, Solutions Specialist for Google Cloud at Ingram Micro. Now I will hand it over to Sandeep to get us started with the presentation.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. I'm just going to move the slides forward here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for Zach and the team for organizing this event. Hope everyone is having a good start to their March. Pretty remarkable to think that we've been in a global pandemic for a whole year at this point. So I know how valuable your time is. Again, thank you for your time today, and thank you for leaning in with Google and Ingram Micro. 2020 was definitely an unprecedented year on so many fronts, personal and professional. A lot of disruptions for our families, colleagues, communities. And I want to be completely open. Around this time last year, when all of this was beginning to brew, I had a fear, and the fear was that we were going to shut down, where partners like yourselves, customers that you manage, were going to shut down, and we would be in a scenario where the ITs of the various customers that we manage would be in jeopardy. Well, I was pleasantly surprised when we actually had the opposite problem, and customers are reaching out to you as partners in unprecedented ways. You as partners are reaching out to Ingram and Google in unprecedented ways. You leaned in really hard, and we were able to navigate 2020 in a way that was really at the core of what we believe in, right? Collaboration, listening to our users, listening to our partners, et cetera, right? So we learned a lot. And I just wanted to call that out. I wanted to recognize that. And as a result, we actually had a lot of growth, right? We were able to not only listen and learn, but also turn that into tangible actions. We saw our Chrome business, we saw our workspace business double in size. And a true testament to that was not just the sales, but also the users, right? We had a record number of users on our platforms every day logging in. So, an unprecedented 2020. We never thought we'd see so much transformation happening, regardless of the segment or the user that we were trying to serve. This leads us into, where we are today in 2021, right? Like, we are seeing continued momentum, and across all products, right? We're focused here on Chrome Enterprise, but across all of the portfolio within Google Cloud. And we're seeing a quick start to the year. Generally, about this time, we're starting to ramp. Well, I'm happy to report that starting in January, we began that ramp. We've seen almost 2x growth this year compared to the same time last year, which is pretty remarkable. What does this mean for you? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we here today to talk about Chrome Enterprise? Because there's really a massive opportunity, a continued massive opportunity to attain net new customers, net new business in segments that are that you're focused in already, or that you have a specialization in, and new customers outside of that arena that you're comfortable in. We want to make sure that you're taking full advantage of how to win, right? And secondly, those customers that are already with you, like how do we expand the Google Cloud footprint within those domains? How do we leverage a better together narrative? And I can talk a little bit more about this a little later to expand up your business within your existing customers. So we want to make sure we're doing that as well. And we're seeing a lot of momentum already in this at an early stage in the year around exactly this. And then last but not least, we at Google and our partnership with Ingram Micro are trying to bring new offerings to the table, right? We want to make sure that we're evolving in terms of the growth that our customers are experiencing, the demands that they have. We're evolving by offering new products. We're evolving by adding new SKUs to the Ingram Micro portfolio that you can take advantage of, right? Any rebranding that we have to do to help you win customers, we want to make sure that that's happening. So there's a lot to do in 2021. We have a duty to help you as partners, help your customers. And, as we do that, as we go through this journey in 2021, we want to make sure that we're also getting a chance to hear from you. We want to be able to take your feedback and you are closest to your customer and share the concerns, the questions, the wins, any and all back with us, because we want to make sure that we're putting you in a position to increase your probability of success and increase the likelihood that your business is going to succeed. So moving forward, I just want to kind of recap a little bit on, about the workforce, right? And modern employees have already started moving towards these user-friendly tools that foster collaboration, they boost the productivity, they increase efficiency, and they enable them to do work from anywhere, right? That was a key theme last year. And the theme was really accelerated by the pandemic, absolutely. But the theme has actually been around for some time, right? And so this meaning of adopting cloud infrastructure and tools was really at the forefront. Remote working has been a growing consideration, as I mentioned, for employees and employers. But there's an interesting stat here, right? And I'm going to share a really interesting graph in the next slide here. But between 2005 and 2018, remote work had already grown by 173%, right? We need to continue to move workforces to the cloud, right? Businesses now exist in almost a boundless world, and they need tools that enable that agility. So modern employees need these user-friendly tools that are going to, not only continue to keep them up and running, but to allow them to grow and to scale. So because of the pandemic, employees were forced to work from home, and IT had to really figure out how to manage employees remotely. I remember the first 3 months after the pandemic really began, we at Google and Ingram were getting number of calls from our existing customers, existing partners that were getting, a ton of calls from customers on how to figure out the best approach to IT. Not just grab an IT strategy because they didn't have one, but to grab the right IT strategy, right? And so, we had some industry reports that said 88% of organizations, when the pandemic hit, mandated that employees work remotely. However, we are now where we thought we would be 5 years from now. So all this rapid change was forced on us because of the global pandemic. Remote working is kind of the new normal. And although many businesses are looking for ways to bring employees back to the office, remote working will still be the way of life for a significant amount of these workforces, right? And IT will have to support a distributed workforce, whether that's employees in the office, in the field, at home, a hybrid model, whatever that might be. These are the challenges that IT administrators have to face at these organizations to manage their distributed workforce. So, as the chart really shows, 2020 we saw a massive spike happen. We anticipate some leveling as the years continue, as we go through, what the rest of the pandemic looks like. But we're now at a new normal, right? We're not forecasting kind of an increase in work from home over time. We're actually, we've increased it, and the number of workers are going to continue to increase. So, from a remote perspective, so there's a lot that's going to happen post-pandemic. So we have to account for that. So with this shift, the idea of having a cloud-based platform like Chrome OS that allows employees to have access to their data anytime, anywhere, is no longer a nice to have. It's just a necessity. And so as these organizations are entering an era that work is beyond the actual physical workspace, a more fluid construct of where and how work gets done, which could be anywhere without bounds, is what's required. So looking from an IT administrator's perspective, they need solutions that help them meet evolving demands of their workforce faster, right? Legacy endpoints are not built to support new ways of working. A high degree of intervention is needed by these IT professionals to ensure virus protection is there, the virus protection software is updated, other software is updated, OS patches are distributed properly and then manually installed. There's data backup happening on every single device within the infrastructure, within the fleet. At any given point. So these legacy endpoints are really not built to protect against malicious parties and common threats. They're not built to sync, customizations and compliance requirements across multiple devices. They're high cost for IT to manage. They're high cost due to on-device storage requirements. There's a number of pain points here, right? An IT professional should not be tied up with manual security patches and basic administrative tasks all day. You want them focusing on building your business, enabling innovation across the enterprise, enterprises, really, their top overall IT priorities for the next 12 months are to reduce those costs, to improve endpoint security, and invest in technologies that support employee productivity. Whether the solution, fits in that office, and we spoke about this a little bit ago, whether that solution fits in the office, at home, or in that field scenario, or some hybrids, employees and all of these worker segments need cloud-based tools that enable them to work from wherever. Modernization, to me, isn't exactly fully possible if we're using that legacy platform, right? IT decision makers, they serve, IT decision makers that we surveyed and we work with on a regular basis indicated that only 58% of their organization's work applications could be, accessed via a browser, right? While many have already invested in modernizing infrastructure, there's never been a more critical time to extend those cloud investments into endpoint computing environments, particularly to support long-term remote working, which, depending on how this pandemic goes, could just be a normal thing, right? Industry reports predicts that the percentage of information workers working from home most of the time will rise from 21% by the end of this year, up from 7% in 2019. So that's a massive shift, right? This really equates to an opportunity for growth, right? An opportunity for growth for for Google and our products and our users, opportunity for Ingram Micro, and just making sure that we're able to serve as many partners as possible, and the opportunity for you, the partner, to go get net new business in ways that you haven't with our existing portfolio. So, modernizing computing with Chrome OS. Our goal as Google is to really empower IT to focus on a better together solution, right? The combination of Chromebooks and Chrome OS will empower that IT to support cloud workforce and workforces to work more securely and effectively from anywhere, right? And not just securely and effectively, but like that's going to equate to productivity. That's going to equate to increased collaboration. That's going to equate to employee satisfaction, employee creativity going up. So just an overall better experience for that employee. And we can share that the value to help IT invest in a modern infrastructure is incredibly critical right now. So why Chrome OS, you might be asking? There's many reasons, right? We have to understand the why. Why are businesses choosing cloud first? Just wanted to share, this last year in 2020, after the year finished, we actually looked at our business and we looked at our competitors, and we found that Chromebooks actually outsold Macs worldwide last year, and that cut into the Windows market share, right? Chrome OS success has expanded beyond U.S. schools, which is kind of where Chrome was born, right? And this is a critical part of the marketplace, and it's infiltrating the retail, healthcare, public sector, financial services, manufacturing, and tech markets, creating stronger opportunity. So businesses are really moving to Chrome OS because, one, Chrome OS devices deploy 76% faster than Windows 10 devices. Two, IT can really manage devices remotely with our admin console, right? This is a huge time saver for both IT and the end user. How quickly can my end user get online and get working? Built-in devices have that security and that updates. They deploy automatically. You have to remember that. And Chrome OS really establishes a cloud-first approach to collaboration, which is super important as you think outside of Chrome OS. When you think about Workspace, for example, and other Google suites that we have. So all super important things to note. The benefits of that, cloud-first endpoints are tremendous, right? We touched on this just a little bit ago, right? Fast deployments, simple management from an IT perspective. There's really no downtime, and I think that's one of the key themes. You don't want your end users not working, right? You want them being productive in the time that they have dedicated to work. If there's anything COVID has taught us, it's that time is precious. How much time we dedicate for work, how much time we have for our families and our communities, is really being spread thin. So when we're working, we want to make sure we're really focused on doing the work, and we're not. We don't have a barrier to entry to just do the task that we need to do, right? Applications for every worker, right? There's a number of partnerships that we have focused in on areas like virtualization and single sign-on, making sure that any legacy applications that are being used are accessible from a Chrome device, right? Obviously the employee experience is very important, right? Built-in security we've talked about. And a smart and eco-friendly investment, right? Like there's so many reasons to consider this, right? here's some more stats around some of those things, right? Fast deployments, we talked about 76% time savings during device deployment, which is amazing. Our Google Admin Console, zero touch enablement. This one's one of my favorites, right? Just being able to get a device or having devices arriving pre-enrolled and set up for an employee can immediately sign on without an IT configuration. Regular and controlled updates that is managed, and the onus sits with the IT, not with the employee. Kiosk mode, right? Making sure that you set up Chrome devices to be locked down to a single or limited set of applications, and obviously manage guest sessions, right? Enabling and managing those guest sessions to allow multiple users, such as employees or customers, to use the device without signing in. We've seen a very strong rise in the guest sessions and the kiosk mode applications. And here are just some of the organizations that have embraced the cloud benefits of Chrome Enterprise. We've broken this out by the various segments that are really showing strong traction with our product. So as you can see, we have a lot of familiar logos on here. PwC, DoorDash, companies that are either new or they've been around for a little bit. But we also have organizations like Whirlpool, who's really been around for much longer and used to, has modernized a little bit in terms of how they work and what they prioritize at an employee level. So a lot of unique logos across very different segments. These are the 6 segments that we're seeing the most growth, and I wanted to make sure we call that out. So a lot of goodness here. With that, I'd like to pass this over to our Ingram Micro Google team and kind of share a more in-depth look at the selling strategy. So without further ado, I will pass this over to Nick Quinn.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks, everybody, for joining today. And for those of you who'll be listening to it on the recording or on demand, again, my name is Nicholas Quinn. I'm the Solution Sales Executive here at Ingram Micro for Google Cloud. Next to me, you see the face there. That's Jason McManus. That's our subject matter expert for Google Cloud here at Ingram Micro. And also, you can see our contact information there, as well as a note on the bottom. You see our Chrome Solutions team. That's a good email address to have. That's going to help you with placing orders and such, and certainly get any questions answered that you may have. But certainly don't hesitate to reach out to Jason and myself with any questions you might have. So taking a deep dive in with Chrome OS. Give me a second here as I switch the slide. All right, you can see the enterprise brand and architecture here. The slide's going to outline the Chrome Enterprise family and how they relate to one another. Kind of directs you where you can differentiate, build equity, and invest, and find solutions for your customers. You can see here, what are you getting for free? What are you paying for? What's the value of the upgrade? I think it's a nice kind of picture here of certainly where it started, where it's going, and so on and so forth. So you can see here, Google Chrome Enterprise and brand context. Through distributed workforce, cloud workers are growing at a fast segment of the workforce. IT do need to meet the demands from, we mentioned this earlier, information workers to frontline workers. The theme here is anyone can be a cloud worker. It's not about where you work, it's how you work. And you see organizations out there now in the position where they really need to adapt, and they have to adapt quickly. As Sandeep mentioned earlier, legacy endpoints are not a secure solution. IT needs a comprehensive ease of management and efficiency of a cloud solution. Chrome OS offers the value with a secure and trusted connection in the world's leading browser to improve business outputs. I think that, again, to kind of capitalize on that, legacy endpoints are just not a secure solution anymore, and the workforce has completely changed. It's not about where you work, it's how you work. Now we're getting into selling the right Chromebooks. Excuse me one second here. 3 steps to determine the right Chromebook. I'm just going to read off here. Identify the primary use case and how the device will be used. 2, map out the device specifications required for each use cases. And 3, make recommendations for devices that meet the needs. I would take these 3 steps when you're talking to your end customers and see where they're going to fit, and certainly find the right Chromebook for their business needs. Modern tools for the cloud first workflows. Chromebooks are a great solution for developers. They check all the boxes. They provide developers with the familiar tools to help them build robust cloud first solutions. You can see here everything that we have, Linux, Android. It's very agnostic. So I think, switching slides here. Chrome Enterprise is the most comprehensive remote working solution. I think this was mentioned earlier, but it deploys very, very fast. You can manage remotely and centrally, one pane of glass, deliver the apps to every employee's needs. Secure the data, I think that's a common theme as well. And as we're going to discuss in the next couple of slides, it's going to keep the costs low. This next slide, actually, we're looking at here. We're looking at $482 saved annually per device. Lower IT overhead, less employee downtime, lower security risk, and increased hardware savings. In addition to delivering the employee experience, the total cost of ownership benefit deploying a Chrome Enterprise are just as significant. Again, you're looking at $482 per device. There's been some independent studies out there, and again, it's a common theme. Reduced acquisition costs, including hardware and software. Reduced operational costs, including deployment, administration, support, maintenance, and power. Improved business uptime. Data risk, including the less data risk. Increased user productivity and less downtime. You know, I would also comment here, being a new user on a Chromebook, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to open this thing up, and within seconds, it's already ready to go. So it's definitely a huge value add. Let me kick this over to Jason. He's, like I said earlier, he's our subject matter expert. He's been dealing with the differences between your Chrome Enterprise upgrade and just your regular Chrome OS. I think this is a great slide. He's going to kind of get through what, the advantages of buying a perpetual license and kind of what you're getting in the Chrome Enterprise upgrade. Jason?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. And just to kind of isolate the slide for a second, we called out the benefits of Chrome, right, in the operating system. But this slide here is just one of my favorites because it calls out what you're actually receiving when you're purchasing the Chrome Enterprise upgrade. So simply put, as an IT admin for a school or a business, you can manage thousands of devices all from a single cloud-based pane of glass, and that being the Google Admin Console that Sandeep mentioned earlier. This is where you can enforce policies. You set up Chrome features for users, provide access to your internal VPNs and your Wi-Fi networks. You can force install Chrome apps and extensions. Also, access legacy apps with the VDI solutions that are out there, including VMware and Citrix. You can create organizational units to gather these devices together to share the same organizational structure, and also enable single sign-on and utilize that experience. So the first step, of course, is to purchase the Google Cloud device licenses. You'll need one license for each Chrome device that is being managed. And you have 2 options for this. You have a perpetual option as well as an annual. Perpetual being for the life of the device, and annual with the option to renew each year. The second step, of course, is to enroll the Chrome devices. So all devices, of course, have to be enrolled before the policy enforcement can occur. But enrollment is super easy, whether that's manually by pressing Control-Alt-E and signing into your Google Admin Console and enforcing those policies, or utilizing our white glove and zero-touch enrollment. Just know that Ingram Micro here has you covered. Hopefully that divided our differences there and really pointed out the feature sets that you're purchasing and all those upgrade features to Chrome OS that just completely complement it. Nick, back over to you.
Thank you, Jason. Nicely done. So moving forward with Chrome OS, Better together, right? Together, Chrome OS and enterprise capabilities make a Chromebook enterprise. So you got the Chrome OS, you're getting all the advanced security, flexible access, simplified orchestration, 24/7 IT admin support equals a Chrome enterprise, plus your Chromebook. All, a wonderful better together story. Not going to get too much into this, calculate the benefits of the TCO calculator. You're all going to have access to this deck afterwards, and you can kind of estimate the cost and benefits of switching to Google Chromebooks. There's a embedded link right there, so if you click there, you can kind of play around with that and kind of see, in black and white, what kind of savings you're gonna get. And try a free Chrome Enterprise license. Certainly, that's available. You can see this the email there for quotes, but we do offer trials as well. Tools you can use. So I'm actually here. This is our partner advantage. I'm going to kick it over to Jason. He's going to close out the presentation here. But certainly, I would definitely remember this slide. Anyone going to market with Google, everything is there for you. The stuff that they've made this so easy to use, co-brandable marketing, all kinds of white papers, trainings, pitch decks. Not to steal your thunder, Jason, but you can go ahead now.
No, nicely put. I mean, Nick's right. If you're not enrolled already, please leverage our Google Cloud Partner Advantage program. What this is, it's a one-stop destination for all of our partners to access the latest news and resources. This includes launch announcements, our product updates, any technical documentation that's held can all be found right here. This is also a repository for all of our partner trainings. It provides you marketing, sales, support, training, and technical resources that you can really just leverage for all of our Google Cloud offerings. Access to this portal is available, of course, at no cost, and it's also a requirement through our Ingram Micro authorization process. So we're going to get into that process as we tie our ends here, but of course, to utilize the link that's on the side of this presentation to make sure that you're fully enrolled and enrolled into the program itself. This also will cover new resources for 2021, of course, that will cover pitch decks, sales aids, and more. So make sure you take advantage of this offering. As an Ingram Micro partner, we'll help you, of course, with all the pieces of partnering, selling, and scaling together. Our OEM teams for devices, Chrome Licensing Pod, and Google Chrome team will provide the support and help you grow your Google Cloud journey. So additional benefits of our channel, of course, without even mentioning, is our full ecosystem for all of your various cloud and hardware needs. Chrome Enterprise Solution gives you these abilities, right? We discussed all the added benefits. Where do you go for this? Where do you purchase it? If you're not already familiar, our cloud marketplace is one of the category leading digital services, an unparalleled channel to support and really just automating that purchasing experience for you. So when we think about how to deliver our cloud solutions, this is an unmatched hyperscale platform that's going to help you increase your deployments. If you're not utilizing the cloud marketplace today, shoot us a line as this concludes. We'd love to get you onboarded, authorized, and get you poking around in there, getting familiar with what our cloud ecosystem consists of, and get you introduced to some of our offerings. There you'll find our cloud offerings for Google, including Workspace, Chrome, which I'm going to go into a little bit greater detail here, but really just using the platform to automate the purchasing process. You have full control. You have the wheel over invoicing to purchasing power and end user capabilities. So along with that too, right, aside from the saving time with our automated platform and our ecosystem to expand your portfolio, what's really fun here is our go-to-market automation tools that's built into our cloud marketplace. So over this past year, we've had some really fantastic updates. And when we think about how to deliver cloud solutions, this is the platform that's really going to help you increase your deployments. So the go-to-market hub is our go-to stop for marketing materials internally, where you can co-brand with your organization's information to create web blasts, email campaigns, along with analytics, along with multiple resources that are constantly being updated to reflect the most current information. So here you can go in, click our go-to-market hub platform, find Google Cloud, and use all of this material that we're looking to continuously update and make sure that you have the most pressing and relevant information. This is a difference maker. This is where you, as a free tool, can reach out to your customer base and let them know that you are their experts for cloud deployments with Google. Nick, I'm going to pass this one to you. For partner communities, what can you bring us here, and why are we so invested in our SMB Alliance and TrustX Alliance?
So thanks, Jason. I think this is a clear differentiator when you're talking about Ingram Micro as a distributor. You can see the two communities that we have here, SMB Alliance and TrustX. You can see some of the different parameters, essentially, that our members, whether it's how much sales they do per year, the annual membership and stuff like that. This is, yes, Ingram's very involved here, but to a certain degree, we're not that much involved. We kind of let, an SMB Alliance I'm more familiar with. I've been to the TrustX events as well, but this is a situation where, partners are meeting 4 times a year, and they're getting unlimited access to some of the vendors that are part of these alliances, as well as, their sales reps putting a face, excuse me, this thing switched again, putting a face to the name of the people that they deal with on a daily basis. But most importantly, it's that peer-to-peer consultations that they get. Ingram's not even in the room for half of these events. And, they're sitting there talking to peers throughout the country, and they're sharing best practices, where they're finding the most growth, what vendors are working well for them, what services they might be adding, and even getting the knowledge of maybe a new go-to-market plan. And some of the trials and tribulations that another partner like yourself might have experienced when they were, onboarding a solution or going to market with a different vendor, or even just some of the pain points they might have had with, customer experience and such, and how to alleviate that and kind of, attack it and learn from maybe their mistakes, or, just know what to expect. The main thing here is, I'll tell you, I've talked to several partners who are in these communities, and the one actually joked, he said, listen, every 5 or 6 years, I might get a new account executive to manage my account. He's like, I could actually not even like them, and I would never leave Ingram because of the value that I get from this community. And that value also shows in the growth of these companies as well. They're growing at a much faster rate than, some of the typical partners that we see. Now, I don't have an exact percentage, but I can tell you some of these communities have been in line for 20 years now. So they're proven to work. So it's something, if you're looking to get involved with one of these communities, certainly let me know. You might see where you fall based on, sales and revenue that you bring in and stuff like that. But certainly we can help get you aligned there, and, you can kind of have that interaction with people who are dealing with the same, pain points that, same things that keep you up at night. They can kind of tell you what they've experienced, and, hopefully you guys can grow together and learn. And like I said, I can tell you with all certainty, the partners in this community are growing at a faster rate. But that's, some maybe at the 5%, others with a 20% growth. We do see it. So wanted to call that out, not necessarily specific to Google and stuff, but it's just another value add that Ingram brings that, from what I've told from other partners, is something that no other distributor is doing. So certainly let us know. And you can see the number of members that we have here. We have 300 plus just in the TrustX Alliance. I mean, kind of the big brother to the SMBA Alliance, but certainly where you fit based on kind of revenue numbers. I think it's a really great opportunity. So certainly reach out if that's something you might be interested in.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick. We did also just get some feedback that the slides are not being shared. If you can't see the slides, please continue to follow along with us. We may just have a hiccup here that we're looking to fix. I'm just going to keep going here. And again, just to recap on Nick's slide, if you happen not to catch all of that, that was about SMB Alliance and TrustX Alliance. So jot those down. The next slide here, we're going to be referring to our authorization process. And you can follow along with me with the link that's provided on the side of your screen. This is our 5-step process, actually 4, because 5 is when you're going to transact for the first time. But this is our one-time partner authorization. So I know that many of you have likely already completed the authorization, but if you haven't already and you're here for the first time and just dipping your toes, this is a very simple, streamlined authorization path. Step 1 is the authorization form used to identify yourself to us with the link that we've provided. This will obviously collect the details that we need to find out what product offerings you're raising your hand for, so then our onboarding team can reach out to you and get you on the right path so that you are towards step 5 to your first transact. Step number 2 is creating a cloud identity. And if you haven't already, please do so. This is a Google account that's tied to your company's domain, so you may already have one. If you don't, take advantage of this free cloud identity to create that profile. This is how Google will recognize you. Okay. Step 3, this is signing up for Google's Partner Advantage program, as I called out earlier. Again, the repository for all your trainings and marketing materials. Step 4 is to connect to our distribution channel. This is really just connecting your cloud identity to our marketplace, so our APIs are in sync and we can communicate with your transacts. And lastly, step 5, full speed ahead, transact on our cloud marketplace and leverage our team for support. On this slide here, this is our monthly webinars. And there's a few Ingram-led webinars here. And when this deck is shared, you'll have these actionable links. So also create a note if you're not seeing these slides. On slide, what do we have here? 41. Make sure you check back here, you save your seat. On March 10th, we're going to be holding a go-to-market customizable campaign of really going in those granular details of what I mentioned earlier. On April 14th, we're going to take a full review of that, covering from how to automate your sales enablement and marketing needs, all the way to just a general cloud marketplace review. On the very next slide, this is a recap of our office hours. We'll be holding monthly office hours on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. So this is really just an unconventional conversation to answer some questions that you may have, share some ideas and feedback with our partners, and really just figure out what's going on out there. It's been a valuable time that we've shared together. And again, it's no strict presentation. It's really just a time for us to talk, discuss anything that's pressing, and make sure you have an answer to your questions. So mark your calendars as well. Again, that's the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and you can use slide 42 to save your seat.
And also, I'd like to add in there, Jason, keep in mind, I know we're talking about Chrome OS today, upgrade, but certainly back to that slide that we were just talking to, number 42, office hours, any kind of Google question that you have, whether it's, EDU workspaces, education workspace enterprise, formerly known as just FE, certainly join our office hours, and we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, good point,
Thanks, Jason.
And then also the next slide, just marking those calendar dates. Save your seat for our very next, and we'd be more than happy to have you. As we conclude here, that's really it, guys. I would love to encourage Q&As. Throw those in the chat box now. We'd love to get some pressing questions answered. We have a couple that came through here. First one, Nick, of course, this presentation was a lot about Chrome OS and our Chrome Enterprise upgrade. A lot of our partners are looking to become familiar with that offering, play with it a little bit more, get used to the feature sets. Before we purchase, the question here is, do we have the ability to experience a trial? Are trials available, and where do we go to find that?
Well, the simple answer is yes. We do offer free trials. And actually, what's really cool is the trials are available on our cloud marketplace, and we highly encourage you to provision it that way so that you could, obviously get used to the marketplace as well. Not only will it demonstrate the ease of the automated purchase experience, but it'll also give you a unique hands-on experience of the solution. Couple caveats here: up to 3 users and the ability to set 50 plus policies. So not quite the full gambit of the solution, but certainly you have up to 3 users and up to 50 different policies. But yes, the simple answer to that, yes, they're available, and they're available right through our cloud marketplace, which we alluded to throughout the presentation.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for the
question.
question.
That was a trial that Nick mentioned, right? Trials. We also have a monthly SKU available for Chrome Enterprise. Now, in our deck, we mentioned that we have 2 options, perpetual and annual. Those are through our licensing team at google-solutions@ingrammicro.com. But of course, our monthly SKU is available on our cloud marketplace, and you'll have complete control from prorating licenses into that existing plan to just really having control over that purchasing workflow. So, how the traditional purchasing process would work, you'd reach out to us in our contacts, google-solutions@ingrammicro.com that Nick called out during our intro pres. And really just that simple. We're going to collect some details from you that we need to fulfill that opportunity. You send us back a PO, and we'll take care of that order. Another one here is, what are the top 3 selling points of Chrome for Enterprise? Great question. I think, we covered a lot of that in today's presentation, but if I were to summarize, I would say management, advanced security, and flexible access. On the management piece, you're setting over 300 plus policies for a fleet of oversight capabilities, all the way from ease of use to management in one pane of glass. As I mentioned before, the Google Admin Console. That can't be done without this upgrade. Advanced security. This provides security controls, right? If an end user misplaces their Chromebook, IT can quickly come in, disable the device, protecting their corporate data. Devices can also be set in a mode for guests to, we call it ephemeral mode, to remove their user data from the device at the end of a session. Extremely secure, extremely secure. Running 2 OS systems at once where updates take place in the background. Sandboxing and isolating threats. These are all the things when we talk about our enterprise ecosystem, right? When we say Chrome Enterprise, that's the whole package. That's Chrome OS, that's the upgrade, and that's the device all in one. And that's the unique experience that we're really pouring out to you today. We trust in this tool, we trust in our devices, and we certainly see the value in the upgrade.
Lastly, I can't help to notice there, Jason, some of the features you just called out there. Certainly those are sold by third-party solutions as well, add-ons, but they're very, very expensive. So I think that really ties back in the middle of the presentation, total cost of ownership, and the amount of savings you're going to get. Simple remote wipe and stuff like that. That is a pretty pricey solution. Now I'm not going to name out some of the other vendors out there, but that's not something that's usually an a la carte and an add-on, not just part of the solution. So I think it's worth noting there.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, that ties into that last piece, right? Cost savings and flexible access. Third parties, when we integrate Active Directory for those SSO providers, even into that management piece, those are the tools and the capabilities that Chrome OS and the upgrade really truly offers. Anything else? Any questions that anyone could think of, feel free to share. We're going to hang on here for quite a bit as we conclude. But please let us know if anything comes up, or feel free to pop into one of our office hours. We'll continue to share those dates. I want to also thank our presenters today, Sandeep Gupta and Nicholas Quinn. And of course, your time. I think your time is most valuable and appreciated here. You could have chose this hour to spend doing anything, but you chose to spend it with us. So we thank you, and we look forward to our Google journey together. As we conclude, I'm just going to pass it over to Zach here for closing remarks.
All right, awesome. Thank you to our speakers, guys, Sandeep, Nick, and Jason. That's going to conclude today's Google Ingram Micro webinar. Remember, you can watch this session on demand anytime you wish. If you weren't able to access the deck today on your screen, we'll make sure to send you guys a post-event email with that attached for you to look over. One last thing, we will have a survey pop up at the end of the session, so please be sure to submit that so we can get your much desired feedback.
There's
that's
also
really
real quick, Zach, if there's any questions that have come in after the presentation, just keep in mind, we'll reach out to you directly and answer them. So keep the questions coming. Like I said, we're going to sit here for a little while. If we see any questions that weren't answered, we'll respond to you directly. But again, just to reiterate what everyone said, thank you so much. Really happy that we actually had a real Googler on the phone. Sandeep, thank you so much for your time today. And everyone out there, whether you're live today or listening to it on demand, we really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you hosting as well, Zach and Jason. Great job. And shout out to Jody from our marketing team for putting together this webinar, as well as the deck that we're sharing today. And certainly keep the questions rolling in and keep the interaction up. We're here to help and really want to help you succeed with your journey, your Google journey. Thanks, everybody.